Hello everybody, my name is Eric and today I'm going to be helping you through a heart-healthy recipe for cheesy artichoke toast. For today's recipe we'll have an assortment of spinach, artichoke hearts, some sour cream, a few pieces of sourdough toast, some cloves of garlic, lemons, both zest and lemon juice, some parsley, salt and pepper to taste, breadcrumbs, olive oil, some Parmesan cheese, and some mozzarella cheese. The first step in our process is to take our artichoke hearts that we have right here and to lay them out and get ready to cut. There may be a little juice in the can, so don't worry about that. You can always get it later. Clean it up when you're done cooking once these artichoke hearts come out of the can. You can get frozen or canned. I just prefer canned because you don't have to thaw them out, and I enjoy actually cutting them up as well, so it's kind of a fun thing for me. What I also like to do is lightly tap dry the artichoke hearts to remove any excess water from them as best you can. You have to get all of it off. You're not going to be able to unless you spend hours drying them out, but just to get a little bit of the extra water off. That's all you really want to do. Then what you want to do next is kind of single one out as best you can and get ready to cut it. And just for the sake of this recipe, we are going to kind of quarter them. So come in lengthwise. I'm doing this with my hand. Don't recommend doing that. Just kind of come in, lightly cut it down the middle, and turn it on its side. We lay it flat so you can better cut both of them together. Actually, better I just cut them separately like this. And just cut them down the middle. So we're just cutting them in quarters. And I will come back once those are all done. And so once they're all done, once you have them all gathered together, we'll move on to the next step. But first, you may be asking why we're using artichoke hearts. And that's basically because they are really good at removing LDL or the bad cholesterol in our system and making room for HDL and just helping out, making sure you're feeling a little bit better than had you not. Okay, so we are back and I'm just about ready to add about a tablespoon of lemon juice. And I already have a clove of garlic in there, but in addition I'm going to add about a teaspoon of lemon zest to this. And then I'm going to grab our cheeses. So next I'm going to be adding about a third of a cup of Parmesan cheese, as well as half a cup of mozzarella, actually technically 3/4 of a cup, so let me grab the other 1/4 of a cup. And adding the extra 1/4 of a cup for 3/4 of a cup mozzarella cheese. Now, the recipe that I am using normally calls for Parmesan cheese that you get from the store as a block and then you grate it, as well as a cheese called Gruyere cheese, which is a Swedish cheese, but those are both rather hard to get and kind of expensive. And personally, I feel like I can get a better healthy value with some low skim mozzarella and just some little bit of processed Parmesan cheese. So that's the way I'm going, and that's the route that I'm taking. Okay, in between when I last took a clip of the video, I have added 2 tablespoons of sour cream, a 1/4 cup of parsley, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and a 1/4 teaspoon of both salt and pepper. Now you don't have to do all of that. The recipe that I am following isn't totally strict. I am adding less parsley and I'm adding less salt, about a little under a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, just to kind of improve the overall healthiness of this. And you can go with light sour cream or different types of sour cream or options as well with the olive oil, if you feel that's unhealthy for you. I am going to add the final ingredient, which is about 5 ounces of spinach. The recipe I'm using calls for arugula, but I'm just personally partial to spinach because I personally enjoy it and I want to use it in a recipe, so I figured I might as well. I will come back when I have mixed it all up and I'll show you how to add it to the toast. So when it's all mixed up, it should look approximately like this. Yours might be a little whiter, maybe a little different looking. It's fine as long as it's all mixed up and rather well blended up together and mixed thoroughly. So then we are going to kind of move over to our toast, and we are going to kind of scoop little bits and pieces of our mixture onto each of them in order to get a good covering of each, and then I'll come back and explain to you what I'm going to do after that. Alright, we're back. Since I last left you, I had to add 2 extra pieces of toast because I discovered I had quite a bit more of the mixture than I had anticipated, so it's all good. We will work with that. For the final step, what we are going to do is we are going to take our breadcrumbs, and it's better to use plain breadcrumbs because they are the least amount of calories with the least amount of sodium as compared to other different brands. If you can find a light one or one with less sodium or less calories or something like that and you want to use that, you can feel free to. This is just the best option I had when I went to purchase the breadcrumbs. So I'm going to sprinkle a little bit onto each of these, and I'll get back to you and show you what it looks like before we put it in the oven. Alrighty, here's what it all looks like right before I'm about to put it in the oven. You can of course use less or more breadcrumbs depending on how you feel. This is just what I happened to come out with. The later ones that I did over here clearly have a little less because I kind of figured out my technique, and these have a little more, which is alright. As long as you eat these in moderations and cook all your portions, and since I'm also sharing with all my roommates, I'm not definitely not eating all of these together just by myself. So as long as you manage these in portion sizes and make sure you kind of make it how you really want to, it'll come out just the way you want to, hopefully. As for how long you should put in the oven, we are going to be cooking it in the oven for about 425 degrees for about 8 to 10 minutes, and basically looking for them to be golden brown and for everything to be kind of crispy on the outside. So I'll come back to you all when that's all done. And finally, this is about what they all should look like. They came out really good in my opinion. This took about 10 minutes to all come together, so in total it was about 35-ish minutes to total production. So yeah, this was how to make heart-healthy, cheesy artichoke toast. Thank you so much for watching and enjoy.